5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, Mr. Makhene?
Hey, hon.
Sikhona khetla kunjani konke kuhle.
Hayi siyaphila. Uyabona nje ukuthi sifuna ukuyiqala vele nge-energy ephezulu. Sifuna uyishaya
Size sifaka ama-mic.
Yeah, sifuna ukuyisusa vele on a very serious high. Otherwise, how's everything?
Aye, life is good. All is good under the circumstances. There's nothing else that we can do except to live and push on.
No, true.
Yeah.
I think just to hit the ground running, for the people who don't know who Tlale Makhene is, ungazichaza kanjani kubona?
Tlale is just a Pundu boy born in Soweto. Born in Soweto and raised in Eswatini, and basically all you know right now it's because of Eswatini and all the masters, direct and the indirect masters that I've gone through. But I would say one of my earliest masters in the music is it's two of my grandmothers. The first one having to be introduced first time on the drum, that was in 1976, Magase Pehlweni. The second time I was introduced even deeper into the music, now a melodical instrument. It was Makhene, Ukoko, Akeno, Eswatini. When we moved to Eswatini, she played to Makhene. Standards. So I would visit Nomkhulu when she visits the sister, and when we get there, they'd be talking and she'd be playing Makhene. And for me, that was intriguing because they would be talking and she would be playing in the somewhere in the middle. She's singing. All this is happening at the same time, and I'm listening, and the sound is kicking my butt.
Yeah,
and and that was my second introduction into. I guess it was my induction or initiation into traditional music, and where I was gonna go. And before that, when Ukoko Besepelweni, Ukoko Zaluma, so while everybody was playing, my first experience of arrangement, I found it there. I was 4 years old. I did not know I was arranging at that time. I was just hearing things, you know, because Babadala Isinguni.
Okay.
And and we've been playing this thing every day, Mashailukoko and all that stuff. But that day, with a friend of mine, the child took Obela, we were under the table and we were playing. Then I go and say, Eti Tlale, when I listen to this, Nalikamal Balega. It's in Dow.
Yeah. Oh, it's Dow.
Listen Dow. That's very cool. I mean, I was hearing it in my head.
Yeah.
And it went in front of Valameso. The only thing else was Saimpam.
Yeah.
Uvula amehlo umalume amehlo abovu lapha ibhubezi
How old are you at this stage?
How old is this now?
I was 4. I was 4 years old.
Yes.
That was yeah. And I still remember that day, and I even still remember what I was doing. Funny enough, many kids, things we did at 4. Many of the things that we did at 4, we don't remember, but there are memories that I remember when I was 4, and when I tell them to my parents, they're like, huh?
Usakhumbula.
I'm like, I guess those memories are memories that are supposed to stay with you, so that they can basically pave the way and push you through to wherever we need to go. Because one of the biggest sins that we do as parents is that we do not listen to our kids. Because and that is the biggest that is the biggest sin. That is the biggest sin as parents that we can do, because when a kid comes into this world, they still remember exactly what they're here to do. And the tina as abantu abadala, already our minds and souls have been defiled by societal rules and norms. They're here, they're still pure, they know exactly what they need to do. And when they see things going wrong or going right, and when they tell us, Baba, lento lena wayungayenzika, so the first thing that we do, like, ungazongitshela ngidala nawe ngiyayazi lento kanje kanje, the next thing bese khala isibhacu thina ke ngalento lena ngesikhathi sesokhula bawazi ukuthi izinto uyikhuluma kanye uthola isibhacu, you know ukuthi you'll keep it,
never come back again. You will never come back again. It's quite interesting that you jumped onto the next question, because you've touched on it, but I still would like to find out more. How was your childhood? As a young boy, how were you?
Young exposed.
I see.
and also we could confirm with the music bag at 4 years.
Yeah, even before.
Yeah,
exactly.
Probably.
Exactly. I guess maybe to answer, I will start from an influence. Basically, at home, everybody. I come from an artistic family, both my maternal and paternal. My dad being an actor and a singing actor at the same time. My mother being an actor as well, a singing actor. My maternal grandmother, she was not into the arts, but she was artistical. Every time when we sang together, you'd never hear unison when I sing with my grandmother.
Okay.
There was always harmony. And nobody tells anyone go to know Tlale. And the mom, she will always be there. And it always intrigued me. I'm like, hey. And she inspired me. And talking about that now, actually, I've never spoken about it like this. Me being inspired by her and harmonically speaking, because she stretched me somehow. By the time I get my choir and all that stuff, I understand harmony. How do I understand harmony? I don't know, but only to find every time then there was a mama already says the harmony always grew, and that was training. And that is the beauty of an extended family. So I'm still answering the question because it is very important to have an extended family. Family, I mean me, my wife and children. I said it. So for me, those are my roots. And again, moving to Eswatini, we literally raised both by family and Umango, the community.
Yeah.
Because as you know, you mess up somewhere next to an elderly person. They will not wait for Gucci and then you're punished. No, punish there and then.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna laugh.
And then I was in the
yeah.
If that thing was severe, then that means bazokutrapa la, and then taken home. And if you're unfortunate enough, umalume oza ne-fortnight nabamtshela naye akuphinde naye.
Ukuthi wazi ayenzwa lento.
Ushaya nge-fortnight and uthola ukuthi umamncane ngale bengayazi naye leyo ndaba ayiza phinda kuphinde naye. So you knew ukuthi messing up,
it's not an option.
Yeah, it's not an option. But besides that, besides messing up, you knew that you were being parented by everyone. And so now, moving away from that, the influence, the musical influence, and the community. But as Tlale, yes, I had friends, but sometimes I found myself being alone most of the times. My friends growing up, because it's hard to come by a friend. I'm not going to say a good friend, because when I say a good friend, that means everybody's a friend.
Yeah.
But to come by a friend. to come by a friend, it's very, 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 very difficult, because even in a family, they say that within things you can never choose. They say your family. Me, I say it's family and friends. Not acquaintances, not subordinates or whatsoever, but friends. When I say a friend, it's someone that you can even find in your own family. If you are not friends with your brother, then you are just blood.
Yeah.
Because someone can do something to you, and your brother could be supporting that person directly or indirectly. But if your brother is your friend, then you know that
Nayibamba nonke.
Ibamba sonke uma isuka akabuzi ukuthi hlale kwenzekeni.
Uzobuza senihamba senendlini. Uthi silolana.
Bathatha silolana ukuthi hayi ngimtshentshela ipen manje ngijayela manje. Anyway, yasijayela. Exactly. So now to count friends, not a much it now or whatsoever, but friends, growing up, I had a few friends. And unfortunately, some of them, they died young, and some of them, they got demented. And maybe that is why I'm a mad cat, musically speaking.
No, you see, now we're going into very serious deep things. But I want us to go there. I really want us to go.
No, we will go. So basically, now things that I did with my friends, whether it's the games that we did, and what games the guys that would be like, I'm fun because it's either the game is too rough or the game is too intricate or asas good benza.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we in today's language, people will say we were thinking outside the box.
Okay.
But we were just being kids, and kids of that type, because you've got your normal kids that are lovable, are loved by everyone. Like I had an older brother. My older brother was loved by everyone.
Yeah.
He showed his face, you just smile, not knowing why we are smiling. Because that was just him. And he and and by the time you discover you still don't believe yourself that but that's the character, you love the good people.
Yeah.
And you've got those mama come about abazali now qhamuka bathi eish baba nkosi yami uzosisiza nkosi yami kule nto sigcinelele ngane sesibeke ezandleni zakho because they do not
Hey, oh, so bekuyini ke lapho kuleyo project? It was
ayithi-ke labo ingwenya yazi ukuthi
kwase kwazala nkomo
ukuthi nkosi yami ubona abazali babhekana ukuthi kahle kahle sasenzani lana sasivala amehlo noma sasavulile
ukuthi hayi abakini amsho ama-jeans wangakini lawo
ukuthi awakini lawo ukuthi yena awakini lawo ukuthi
sasiwavalile amehlo noma.
So Mina, I've got a question that I'd like to ask, but I think let me just give Leroy a bit and then I'll go to mine. Because
hang on, what was the question that you asked me?
No, the question was about your childhood, and you've painted that picture.
Let me finish on that quickly so that it's gonna be easy.
Sure.
So basically, I would find myself yabona emakhaya mostly niyathunywa at the time akhula thina. We had there was no luxury yokume estradeni ukhombe and kumi taxi. And
we walk.
That's a taxi. We are Umbila about 15 km away. It's either you choose Golovan, touching Golovan, or you are trying to Begemslane or the kind of Yahamba. So those were my moments. Because Manghambalapa, then I get to be with myself. And I get with the understanding that I have now, I get to be with the people in Hambanabo. We talk. I remember one time saying, I'm alone for some reason. And I've never had a problem of being alone, even now. Or I've never had a problem of Sibeso2 and the C2 when I was in Tlale. Because that silence for me, it's a conversation. And by the time we speak, and it's a continued conversation. So being alone in a space at that time, I had no problem. And now I'm saying, and a thought comes, I'm on TV.
Okay.
And it's now we would visit. So now we would visit Ekoli on our school holiday. So TV about the car. So in my head, so how do they make movies? There's a camera up there. So now that's satellite. So there's a camera up there. Someone is recording. So they choose. Basically, they choose Faga Ubani on the television. So in case I choose, let me do something. Sing your air tag, man.
Okay.
I'm doing things.
Just in case I choose away.
That's in case I choose. So now, what do they call these things on television? These documentaries, the what wives of what
reality TV.
Reality TV.
Yeah.
If you look at it right now, I was doing a reality TV. I thought television, everything was reality TV.
Yeah.
So now, look, I'm getting initiated into the arts in that way. The other time I'm coming back, I thought it's not a thought. At that time it's a thought, but then about 15 years later, I saw it happening. You remember the movie Universal Soldier?
I know about it.
Yeah.
There's generational problems.
No, just generally. I'm bad with movies. Nyalala.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying give up.
No, see, check Universal Soldier.
No, that's cool. Universal Soldier was one of those early movies with the technology and all that stuff, technology that you see now, and and all that stuff, and technology that we still aspire as human beings to get to. I saw it then because in my mind I was playing at it, and the time that movie came, I'm like, I know this thing, and I always had to craft something and all that stuff. But basically, if I'm not at school. When I'm at school, I enjoyed school more than being at home.
Okay.
Because I'm at home, I've got friends, I'm at school, I've got friends, and Then I'm at home, ekhaya kuyabhora ngeyinkomeni and all that. Then ekhaya ngindawo yokulala and all that stuff. And yeah, for now, ngizoyibeka la le answer. Questions because manivula izothatha amanye ama-questions.
Izovala wonke lawo bese yonke le interview iphakathi kwalama questions out too.
Questions out too.
Yeah, gena Kumar.
Oh, so Baba, I wanted to ask me, how was your experience working with younger musicians, especially Unathi Shongwe, no Vuyo, on House on the Hill.
Nofatu. Yeah, Nofatu. I saw that.
Yeah, Nofatu. Yeah.
Yeah, fast forward,
let's take it forward.
No. I love it. It's conversations. I love it. It's for me, it's an honor to be graced with talent, number one. And it's even more than an honor, it's a blessing to be graced with young talent. Why am I saying that? Now I'm talking about age generational gap.
Yes.
When you put me here, then you put Vuyo, Nachi, where they are. There's a generational gap. So basically, that means time. And now a lot of people do not agree that there's something that is called time traveling. So for me, working with younger kids than me, that is time traveling. Because there's things that I know, and with my experience and the experience collected through my life, and those things that they could be boxed as belonging to a certain era, and all that stuff. But then, even myself, when I got into the industry, my generation at that time, we were the new kids in the block. We had to make the older guys that we found in the industry. They either had to move up the steps or the blocks, or move down, because staying in the same place that meant death. Artistically speaking. So now, basically, when for me, coming back to the question, I don't want to go. I don't want to divert Kakulu, and then having to play with Amachi, Vuyo, Nati, Botsehu, and lot of other people, but specifically, like in this show you're talking about, younger people, they are at that time, or younger generation, they are the future at that moment. So, right now, for the lack of a better word, I'm a bit old-fashioned, but then not necessarily. I'm just using old-fashioned because of a lack of a better word. I have some wisdom. It is, and we are now.
Yeah.
But then the wisdom that I have, what do I do to it because I'm in the present?
Yeah.
How do I stay relevant? Or this information? How? Yes, I will never go out. That's good. So, how do I stay relevant with this information I have, or this? How does this experience I have right now? How does it stay relevant now? But for it to stay relevant, I need to be with the future. So the future is in the young generation.
There's a thing you mentioned here for me, which is crazy, and which is the reason why we're gonna take long with these kind of interviews.
Yeah.
You spoke about time travel, and I think it's an interesting way of looking at it. Because I think something just happened in me when you said time travel. talking about working with younger musicians and the fact that the older musicians, when you came in, had to step back, take it a notch less.
So that it's step back or step up.
Yeah. So there's that thing. There's a meeting of, two different times. So the younger ones have to come up and the older ones have to come down so that we find a thing there. So I think
in equilibrium.
In equilibrium, which allows us now to find a new thing, which is a combination of both the old and the new. And I think for me, because I just kind of visualized it, it just gave me a picture.
It really sparked something as well, like me, because there's a generational gap. He needs to fill that generational gap, get experience to the guy, and then people have an experience, the soul, so also more meaningful. I just wanna, but it's also not
and therefore giving us a new thing. I mean, it then is a combination. It's like, for example, with clothes, you find designs, older designs, brought back with new material.
The cool new material, and now you're talking about a long time ago, small bodied, tall women, they were the thing, and now
somehow
we're in the thick. We're in the thick era.
True. It's the era we're in.
And you look at the fashion. Funny enough, the things that were worn by the smaller people, is less slender tall. Now they're coming back in the thick era, but now fitting a different body.
Sure.
And I'm agreeing with you. It's either you agree to evolution or you find yourself on the wrong side of it.
No.
To answer that question, that is why I always love finding myself with younger musicians, because let alone getting inspired. Because whatever ukuhlanya kwami enginako kuyavela easy. I can always express myself easy because the plane in front of me or the ground the horizon always expands instead of ukuthi ibe ngemuva. So ukudlala nabontanga yami kumnandi, it's beautiful because we share experiences and all, and it says vuselela. But then also vuselele, you uzivuselela ukuyaphi. For me, so now playing with a younger generation, Amachita, like you guys. So now my horizon in front of me gets wider, and it gives me more mileage going forward. Then it's easy for me to open up.
I want to just now come in. There's so many questions I want to ask. We are not going to ask. I'm never going to ask all of them because I would need like a 6-hour kind of a session.
We are ready.
No, for 6 hours. Come on. So there's an interview I heard you, Oboguyo. I think it was the Jazzwari one with Luyanda. Jazzwari. So I think there's two things you spoke about there that were very important that I'd like us to talk about here. You once spoke about, and I've been quoting you now and again when I was talking to people who like, I had something Tlale said, it blew me away. I think you were talking about the fact that the blood that runs in your veins currently is actually very old. And I can't visualize the whole thing because I mean, as far as science is concerned, that's truly what's happening. It's as old as man is. So I want us to talk about that. I'm gonna throw both of them. You spoke about drums also. And I can't remember how you phrased it. I think it was around you saying it's the oldest instrument that is there, and how you connected it to nature. you know, and the resonance and every other thing that you said around the thing, for me, blew me away. But I think I'd like to, I know they're both.
Let's start on the last one.
Okay, sure.
Let's start on the last one. You'll remind me to get to the second one, because sometimes I'm not there too.
It's fine. Let's go.
So now, the drum, as it began. Okay, first, the first instrument that a person ever owns is the voice.
Yeah.
Because ukuthi sitratshelani masiqeda ukuzala or sitsiphelani ngoba singazikhulumela nje ngesikhathi sethu masifuna, but anyway bafuna sikhulume. It's like, yeah, a sense of agency ukuthi sibone ukuthi hey yonke into right. But now, so the voice and the body, the whole body is the first instrument. So now the second instrument, it becomes a percussion. The biggest of all is the drum. So, but then back then, for information and all, there's something in Ezipun, but a stair clap, iron ore.
Okay.
So it could be found, it could be put or found at Tlale LT's eshosheni center. Lapho ukuze khanjiswe message, a telegram or an email or SMS. Old school.
Yeah.
So lapho leso sosha kuzohanjwa kushaywe lelo litshe, because leso hosha leso lasime khona umoya mawungena uyangena bese uthatha that information to the furthest side. I mean to a wider plane, so that people can hear it. So now that's science again khona lapho. So badlala lelitshe, let's say mhlambe so they will know what it means. So now time went on, because kuyahanjwa mos sinabantu and all that stuff. Then the next thing kwaba isihlahla somile. Now, so it's a place so in such a way we learn to lego lelitshe sizawudlala logodo or isihlahla, and the sound travels. Khumbula ukuthi ngaphakathi isihlahla sesiholo. So there's a sound it is. So that sound, when it travels, someone picks it up and they play it again, so that izogcwala umango. And as time went on, kwaba isikhumba. Played in almost in the same setting, but sidlala ezilugogo sivulekile siyashaywa. And then izinto ziyachubeka mos ziyakhula, so that means masedlala isikhumba siseduze nathi sila iduze. So now izingqondo ziyavuleka, and now someone then decided ukuthi why singahlanganisi isikhumba nogodo. Then isikhumba nogodo kwase kuyahlangana. Then it started. Then we started to see it drum as it is now. As izizwe ngezizwe lapho sikhona khona, they started to do ama variations wazo, and now and techniques. The techniques of playing started growing through the griots, namashaman. Of that time, because information would be brought through Izanusi, and brought through the special ones that I have been chosen by Amatongo, which the family lena years ago the family years ago. So ama griots were group, they were chosen. And basically, as evolution carries up, the drum now expanded to where we are right now.
So,
and,
sorry.
Just to close on that one, take for instance ijembe. Ijembe, le gama lithi ijembe, ilento lena amagama amabili ahlangene. Jem, igama lesihlahla ujem.
Okay.
Then mbe, imbuzi. So uhlanganiswe uthatha isikhumba sembuzi nogodo ujem, so ijembe.
Oh.
So Patichembe is one of the youngest. Is one of the youngest drums, most probably maybe 500 years old to 1,000 years old. It's still young compared to other drums. Yeah.
So, hey, we are voicing this thing. You want to jump in? Jump in, Leroy.
Yeah.
It's awesome too.
Thank you for it, Catalyst. We've just got a glimpse of history. To play start.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. The revolution of the drum is coming from so far back, you know.
Yeah.
Up until now, we see kumba and the drum and the wood itself. Goma even on the shell means a lot. Yeah, in terms of price, the quality, the tone. So it's really good that we got this short brief lesson.
I also really enjoy it. What you just said, but again, you know, talking to you is so visual. I don't know, maybe it's how you are talking. You paint a picture. So now, what you were saying earlier, you were painting a picture about the use that humans had for the drum, you know, which was more for communication. You know, it was alerting, it was used in society to communicate.
And it was ritualistic at the same time.
Yes. So I wanted to bring this question, Uguti. So looking at where we are now in time, are we still aware of the role that drums played and music played? Are we aware? Is there more that we can do to be aware of, for example, the many other things that you talk about, whether, okay, maybe in the spiritual side, you know, and what's the instrument and the instruments, you know, used to be able to avail. And I think I still have another one now, but in a practical sense, is there more that we can do? Is there space for drums with respect to communication, like man to man, or is that now something that should really fall away? You know, because for me, this is a societal kind of an instrument based on your presentation, but I don't think we still find it as valuable an instrument as far as communication, or vele, you know, there's no space for it because we've got new technology, SMS, and all of those other things.
You know, that takes me to the second question that you posed earlier. So I'm going to pair them together.
Please.
Knowing oneself, it means you have to know your past. Benkhuluma nombuso izolo. This is a subject that always pops up when we talk. It's like an introduction to everything that we talk, and then we go, because we're at the same wavelength. Like, uzazi kanjani ungabaza bakini? Whether on the physical and literal form, or on the spiritual form. If ungabazi abakini, then wena uzozazi kanjani? And uma ungazazi wena ubani okwaziyo, ngoba uma ngabe loyo okwaziyo yini akunikeze yona ukuthi ube i-mouthpiece yayo. So uma ngikhuluma mina ngingazazi, kukhuluma mina na, noma kukhuluma lo muntu ongonayo or lo muntu ongifida nge-information. That is one. Ask us, James.
No, we want more. It's like we want more. I got
So now, what happens now? The blood that is in me right now, le gazi eligijima phakathi kwemithambo yami uma ngisikeka manje lidonsa, akulona igazi elaqala ngo-1972. Le gazi elenze lo muntu ozalwe ngo-1972, omunye wabo waka-1944, omunye wabo he was ka-1946, and including bona nabo elabo igazi transfer from abadala kubona. Basically igazi lami libuya kubazali bami umama nomama. Kodwa nabo baphethe igazi labantu elibuya emuva, nabo labo baphethe igazi labanye, and lelo gazi akulona igazi in my case ukuthi igazi engiliphethe igazi lakaThwala negazi lakwaMakhene. Kumbe ukuthi abakwaThwala
bahlangana nabanye
kunezibongo kuze kufike kulento lokumkhulu. Kukhona izibongo kukhona uKhumalo, kukhona olento omsimango, kukhona uRhadebe, so it's a legion just from and ugogo kukhona uKhumalo, kukhona na, it's a legion. Bese yabuya kubaba kukhona olento lena yibaba Makhene bomlabo Makinte na, it goes, it moves. So one person carries we are a legion. Just a singular person is a legion. Just a micro form of ourselves carries million years of generations. So if we don't even understand 5% of that, then how do we expect ourselves to move forward? So now, having said that, that now takes us back into your heritage, tradition, and customs. Iskopu, see, coming from the thing I've just said earlier on, iskopu emangweni or in a community senza izinto eziningi. Ingoma, being ingoma, the word ingoma carries so much weight. Ingoma umuthi. Ingoma is a dance. Ingoma is a drum. So now you put this trilogy together. Because now uyalapha, uyajabula, as in the dancing and the or the same shot ebungomeni. So ebungomeni now ubungoma bobu sangoma. Yeah, izingoma yaqhamuka futhi. So sesiyalapha. So kumele ube nengoma kuze ube isangoma. And kumele uyazi ingoma. Yeah, ukuze ukwazi ukuyigidela. So now, and ingoma leyo ugidela njani, unika ile isici sayo siphuma engomeni okuyisigubhu. So now, the history of the drum and its evolution, it's very important. It, let alone it being important, it needs to be known ukuthi kumele sazi singene ku research ukuthi into zama frequencies, because in other nations, when you go to Ghana, the deeper sounds of the drum, mostly in certain other drums, uyosithola mhlambe emingcwabeni khona ama drums athi ungekwadlala anyway but adlalwe emingcwabeni. Then coming back to like let's say amantshomane, uyabona amantshomane mozaya izangoma, and the frequency amantshomane is very high. And why do we always have amantshomane very high? Or mama dlala igubhu zezangoma and uthola ukuthi mhlambe lezi ezinye ngoba phela kumele sithune ngelanga or ngomlilo, uthola ukuthi mhlambe lisibekele. How do we enhance then isound yentshomane ukuthi ephezulu, bese uthola bathatha ibhafu balibhekise phansi kudlalwe nebhafu. Then you have that register, that high pitch register. If yini lefunwayo kule frequency ephezulu, ngoba le frequency ephezulu yiyo elento ebhobokisa idlozi, ebhobokisa ithongo lele khulunywa nalo ukuze umuntu umegida lapha bese liyaphuma lithi, noma ulethi uyangena ephehlweni kuthi ushayelwa ngalo lentshomane ukuze liphakame. So now we're dealing with frequency. And why finally, let's say mhlambe let's say Ghana, kudlalwe a deeper lento lena, a deeper drum. That resonance speaks to that occasion. Ukuthi la siya khona. So each and every nation. So these are the questions we have to raise. Now, fast forwarding to this present future, and we can still have, let's say for some reason, we do not have the drum as we know it now, but we still have the movement and the knowledge of a drum, even if we have to replicate it electronically. It's still, because we are dealing with the most important thing is the sound and where it comes from. Esikhumbeni esithize isikhumba siyimvelo. Isigodo siyimvelo. So uphakamisa ini ithonga eliyimvelo nalo elibuyaphi elibuya kumveli, which is umvelinqangi. So it's a line. So now let's say that ama drums, as we know them, they vanished. Then what do we do? Ama drums awasekho? No, we've got uLetele omdali umvelinqangi usinikeze ingqondo ukuze sikwazi ukuexpanda indlela zethu zokuphila kulesikhathi samanje. So electronically right now siyakwazi ukuprogramma and sample and all that stuff. And the more the technology goes forward, is the more samples wethu aba more realistic and they capture that. So now, then someone will ask, what is the connection? Have we lost the connection? Yokoto, Nokuni, Imvel, and all that stuff. But who are we? That means Tina. We have to represent what is not there by knowing exactly how to channel it.
How do we get there? Kalapaz.
Kalapaz. You begin at the beginning. You start at So basically now I'm going back to that thing with knowing your past is knowing oneself. And no one can ever lie to you. Wonke umuntu ophilayo unedlozi. Kodwa ke idlozi ngesingisi ngizona ngithi wonke umuntu ophilayo unedlozi. Ngesingisi wonke umuntu has a guardian angel.
Yeah.
Abanye bayibiza ngonembeza, abanye bayibiza nenhliziyo yesibili. Ngiyaphuma ekhaya, mangiphuma ekhaya ngithi ngifuna kuya ka right. Ukuthi yazi enye inhliziyo ithi angiya ka left. So ubani lenye inhliziyo? Anti the first one wena benge ingqondo yami ithi ngifuna ukuya ka right ngoba ngifuna ukubona ulungile. But iseduze le ka right, but bese ithi enye inhliziyo no, phuma ngala ka left. Uzohamba ngalo. Uthi mawufika kulungile ulungile akutshela ukuthi yazi khona enye athi abayibamba inkunzi. Wena ekhanda like orunguzo wena uthi uze ngakuphi Tlale? Ngithi hayi ngize ngapha ngaseyitolo kanje. Uthe usizile ngoba ngala ngasepassage kukhona athi abayibamba inkunzi.
Sekuzobhela.
So ubani lo ngitshelile? Ubani lenhliziyo yesibili? Ngoba ngithe mina enye inhliziyo ethi iphume ngapha enye yathi iphume ngapha. Le ethi ngiphume ngapha yesibili ngiye ngayilalela. Ngoba lo oqala bekuyimina. Lo wesibili uyazazi indaba zala ngihlala khona zale kasi. So ngalalela yena, so ngasinda. So yile dlozi umuntu ahlala hamba nayo.
Shange aerial view.
Ushane aerial view ngiyakutshela wena. Ushane drone.
I-drone, yeah. I-drone yababona bakulindile lapho Tlale
yabazoyikhawatha. Hayi bazoyikhawatha le.
Since we knowledgeable kangaka nge past nange spirituality, have you taken that journey already? Noma into that you've learned through as time went on?
I'm on the journey. I've always been on the journey. The answer firstly generally. Or generically, you know, I think it's generally and generically. So now I've always been on the search, even when I did not know that I was on the search. Since basically from 4 years when I started understanding and knowing things. I've always been searching, but then I did not know that I was searching, but my spirit always been searching for things. And I've always acquired knowledge. And I've always grown. I've always found myself with elderly people. So now, you remember when I spoke about me and friends? I found myself with friends very younger than me, since Tlale. And I've always found myself at the same time, like at the same time, with friends older than me. Like very old, very Makhene, even then. And sometimes every now and then, uzongithola ngihleli nohlanya. Bathi abantu Tlale uhlala kanjani nalo muntu lona ngoba siyazi ukuthi uyarinta into, but mina kimi akarinta into because ngiya-understandana.
Uzosebenzisa le kham. Yeah.
Give a cap, yakhulu. So now I've always been on the path up until Mankula. Then I started reading books, still finding myself with people who were into, then it was called esoteric information. And even books that I used to read, Moyo Stolo, I needed to learn that word. Where's the esoteric? But some good spiritual section anyway.
Yeah.
So even the books that I used to buy, what is about Professor Nazisi Kunene, about Bab Credo, Motwa, about Osho, all over across the spheres, spirituality. And then now having friends, Zabangoma and all that stuff, and my knowledge opened up, and fortunately I have a brain that yearns to learn more. And sometimes I want to learn as much as there's this information in front of me. What I was taught coming into the music, now I'm into mentorship. When I came into the music industry, it is very important to be mentored, by the way.
Yeah.
Then now I found about Prazezimbuli, about Pratemba, about Pravusi, about Prafana, all the cats. About Sis Faith, about Sis Stella. And I have always been mentored, directly and indirectly so, by these masters. And so as we go in Balendo, the one thing that I was taught by them, when you check a musician, let's say ngifuna check ulungile, ulungile ngiyamthanda ulungile orukhumule umntunga indlela adlala ngayo Leroy, but to know indlela uLeroy adlala ngayo, I need to check ukuthi uLeroy udlale bani. Ngithi mangifika lapho ukuthi uLeroy uchecke bani, bese ngichecka ukuthi lo ochecke uLeroy uchecke bani. So basically, and that pushes you back almost to the beginning. So now it takes us back again. You need to know the
roots.
Your roots. Ukuthi legacy olphethe la kuwena libuya ngaphi lingobani, i-definition yakhona ithini. Ingoma nengoma, I'm sorry that I'm expanding.
It's okay. It's okay.
Ingoma nengoma enama-lyrics enamagama. Anglalanga ekhaya bekakhuluma okhokho, ungawazi lawo magama wacule and kube mnandi ujayive, kodwa ke ithini incazelo yawo. So ungena kumahubo wengoma zabantu, lawo magama lawo ama-lyrics, they're very simple, but then uma sofuna iy'ncazelo zakhona ukuthi ithini kahle lengoma, umbhali wayo ubethini. Then in order for we need to go deeper into that. So now we have lost the idioms, the proverbs, and whatever prose abazishoyo izisho nobusoka ekubekeni izinto yiko nje namanje ile generation nanisashelani nasenebukhana.
Yeah.
So yeah. ubusoka lento le has been compressed because uma ngabe ithi technology manje I mean generation manje asashelani sesiyabukhana. So that means the form of of courting is shorter. So it's not a shortcut. So the shorter the route, the quicker the loss of information. So now, before we share Jintombi ngempela.
2 years.
And we are composer.
Yeah.
Composer izinto ozishoyo indlela osho ngayo indlela owenza ngayo mawunaye and vragdag malento lena masentholene a year later in the relationship uzoza umuntu akubuza ukuthi uyazi wawenza so sisaqala ukuthatha ibhambile ngangishare so all this, how do we need to go back and search and get all this. So spirituality is very important. To answer the question again, it's very important to listen to the person olagwena ukuthi uthini, because sometimes siyalimala. I'm not even speaking about ukuhamba ukuyothwasa and all that stuff. Ukulalela lo muntu la eceleni kwakho, because ubungoma kunama levels, but the normal level yabantu lesibiza into ngento ekuthiwa intuition and all that stuff. If uhluleka ukulalela intuition yakho manje, so uzomlalela kanjani omunye umuntu? Rather when even a higher spiritual being than lo hamba naye comes, uzomzwa kanjani if uhlulwa yilo seduze? So spirituality and musicality, they go hand in hand. Thina ke beyigubhu, it's even worse, because without thina abeyigubhu ukuthi sihlakaniphe sikhulume nesigubhu, masikhuluma nesigubhu sikhulume nabanikazi beyigubhu ukuthi madoda umhlaba sonjena siyaphi manje, ilizwe siliphilisa kanjani, umculo wethu lena ukuze ukwazi ukulapha abantu siya kanjani, ihleli phezu kwethu. So we need to understand spirituality, but not religiously.
Okay, ivuleke. Uyabona not religiously lo uyayivula. Ngela ke. Bengithi ngiyabuza manje hayi qhubeka.
Yeah, ngoba umoya kaMveli awunasonto. Bangithi isonto umoya kaMveli awulona iMuslim, awuyena awusumKristu or any constructs ezikhona, Anglican or Lutheran. Umoya kaMveli, umveli izizwe nezizwe ezikhona emhlabeni uzinikezile indlela yokuphila yazo. Now someone will say we are going to politics. Life in itself is politics.
Sure.
Before kufika umlungu besithini, besithandaza sithini, yini eyethu ebesiphethe. So now I'm not talking about life, I'm not talking about religion, I'm talking about a lifestyle plus a custom, imihambo yabantu lapho, ngoba lezo zinto ababenazo before kufika umlungu izinto bezibahlanganisa nomveli namathongo abo. That is lifestyle. Bebangathathani bayohlala ngaphansi kwendlu ethize, kube khona umuntu othize ome phambi kwabo athi ogogo basekhaya nomkhulu basekhaya yibo beba-expanda i-information bese amathongo uthola ukuthi kukhona nengane ethize esikhethiwe lihlale khona likhulume through bona ikhaya nekhaya beliba nesangoma nogobela wakhona bengayi kaMdluli mina ngibewa kaMakhene ngehlola khona ngoba bakhona la ekhaya abakwamdluli bazazi kanjani indaba zokwamakhene but ke because of